about this, because tonight we are going to get a world champion, and that's what we've been waiting for all season.
Well, this is the elimination. The big guns don't come in till after heat number 10. This is heat number 1. That is Chris Louis. He's fancy for this one. He likes the track. He looks down. Away we go as the tapes fly up down. Away round the outside, coming with a vengeance. Jesper Jensen picks it up. A Dane, of course, but Chris Louis in the red helmet colours away down that back straight. That's Andy Smith too. He is battling in third place, but Chris Louis out front has got a flyer down that straight.
That's right, Johnny. A great manoeuvre there from Chris Louis on that first turn, riding that inside. We know he's so good down on the line, and in heat 1 there is lots of grip down there, so this is suiting him fine.
Track conditions brilliant, as you see. The riders getting the grip where they want it, but Chris Louis out front, stretching his lead now from Jesper Jensen with the lap and a half to go. Chris Louis will march on here because this is a great ride by the Ipswich captain. Chris Louis disappointed to have to go through from the preliminary stages, but in this form he could go all the way. Chris Louis ahead of Jesper Jensen in yellow helmet colours. Andy Smith back in third place in blue for Britain will have to go again to keep his place in the series, and Brian Carger is struggling, but no such problems for the man out front. Chris Louis lifts, takes the checkered flag in red, ahead of Jesper Jensen in yellow. In third place, Brian Carger in white. It looks to me as if Andy Smith has a real problem there. Disappointment for Andy Smith. It doesn't matter anyway, he will have to go for a second attempt, Andy Smith. But Chris Louis takes the checkered flag and take the title. Just about as many too from Poland, hoping for TOMASZ GOLLOB. Here's the lineup. Greg Hancock from USA goes from gate 1. Jimmy Nielsen from Sweden goes from gate 2. A blank space for the Dane Brian Anderson in gate 3. And on the outside, Mark Laram, of course, currently 97. That's the lineup. Just 3 riders for this heat number 2. First 2 go through. The third man will have to battle again. Up go the tapes, they fly. Mark Laram doesn't make it from the gate. He gets shut out here now in the blue helmet colours. Jimmy Nielsen, but in red coming through there. Greg Hancock, the flying American from Coventry, goes brilliantly. Laram's through into second place. Laram is battling. Jimmy Nielsen will have to fight again. Could we have a big surprise for the Swede here? Because Laram has come through to challenge Hancock. Hancock with a lap and a half gone. Down the back straight, absolutely brilliant. Laram in pursuit, and he'll go on from here, PC.
Yeah, he will. I mean, all the talk at the moment's about Tony RICKARDSSON and TOMASZ GOLLOB, but I would love to see Mark Laram win this Grand Prix. And the way he's been going in the last few weeks, that's very possible.
The man in front here, though, a world champion himself a couple of years ago, Greg Hancock. Mark Laram pursuing him all the way. Mark Laram will surely, as we go into the final lap here, go through to the next stage here. But Greg Hancock has something in hand out front. Greg Hancock down the back straight, about 10 metres in front now. The fans are loving this speedway from class riders, but Greg Hancock in red takes the checkered flag. Mark Laram delighted in second place. Jimmy Nielsen in third place will have to do it all over again. What a ride by the American Greg Hancock. But Mark Laram congratulates him. They were in direct opposition, of course, in the league earlier this week. KARLSSON is in this one, is 15th current in the championships. MIKAEL KARLSSON going for the inside in red. It's Stefan Dano from gate 2 in blue. Tony Kasper from the Czech Republic goes from gate 3. And for the outside, Mario Jeru from the Czech Republic. So it's Sweden and the Czech Republic in this one. They will be battling over 4 laps. The crowd expected. Our starting marshal moves away. They wait for the tapes to fly up. They do, and away they go. And keeping it down well on the inside or second gate is Stefan Dano. Dano picks it up in front of the blue helmet colours as he goes round the outside there. But coming through on the inside, MIKAEL KARLSSON. Swedes first and second in this one. A lovely start by MIKAEL KARLSSON and a tight line. And the 2 Czechs at the back now. The 2 Swedes in front, and they could march on if it stays like this. But look at Dano going wide. He's losing it a bit there. And coming through brilliantly, Mario Jeru. Courage personified there for Mario Jeru after that injury in the British Grand Prix.
That's right, the inside is working good at the moment. We saw what happened to Stefan Dano there. He just moved off that line, and that allowed Jeru to dive up the inside and get that second place from him.
Just over a lap to go. Just over a lap to go for this man, MIKAEL KARLSSON, to march on. Mario Jeru in second place. Back in third is Stefan Dano. He surely will have to do it again alongside Tony Kasper. But a truly brilliant ride by this man, MIKAEL KARLSSON. The Wolverhampton fans will enjoy this one as he takes the checkered flag in red. In second place, in yellow, there is Mario Jeru. Third place goes to Tony Kasper in white. Disappointment for Stefan Dano. Whichever way round, whether he finished third or fourth, he would have to battle again. But MIKAEL KARLSSON, HAMILL. Peter Carlsson goes from gate 2. Robert Daniels, the Pole, goes from gate 3. And John Jorgensen, the Dane, goes from the outside in the yellow helmet colours. This is heat number 4. A little bit of an industrial town on the outskirts of here at Vojens. riders being put into place, and plenty of space there between John Jorgensen on the outside and Robert Danos going from gate 3. Tapes fly up this time, and on the inside there, but Danos coming round in the yellow helmet colours, but it's picked up again from gate 1 by Billy Hamill, who lifts an almost catastrophe there now, and he's worried on the inside and out, because going round the outside is John Jorgensen in the yellow helmet colours. Coming through in third place now is Peter KARLSSON. Somehow Billy Hamill's kept it down, somehow he's kept himself on course, but that was tough for him, Peter.
That's right, Tony. We said there was lots of grip down that inside, and Billy Hamill really was on that grip. You saw there, almost looped it off the back of the bike. Now he's got a bit of distance between him. He can move slightly off that racing line, but he's got to keep a check on things because it's really quick, still down tight.
Well, he's going well. He's opening up a lead now, and Billy Hamill seems to have it in control. A few frights for him. Battling to get into second place is Peter KARLSSON. That's second place at the moment. Big help by John Jorgensen. Tailed off at the back is Robert Danos, but no such problems out front. This is Peter KARLSSON chasing for third place. There in the red helmet colours, that is Billy Hamill, who takes the checkered flag in the red helmet colours. In yellow, John Jorgensen takes second place. Peter KARLSSON in blue is third. Robert Danos is in fourth place. But what a battle, what a ride. There, they have the numbers on the side of their bikes. The helmet colours, of course, are conventional. Red on the inside, blue from gate 2, white from gate 3, yellow from the outside. So it's Brian Karger of Denmark, Tony Kasper from the Czech Republic.
Well, Karger's the Dane, so possibly he's got a bit of an advantage. He'll have ridden here a lot, but so have the other boys.
There is Brian Karger. He makes it away from the gates, but look at Danos coming across from the outside and picking up the grip and going down that back straight, but he can't hold it. Karger lifts. Karger picks up the lead. Danos in second place. Disappointment for Kasper in third. He has work to do. Danos is battling. Kasper is coming through now. Kasper picks up second place in blue, but it's relatively easy for the man out front. The Dane you fancied is Brian Karger. They're bumping and boring all over the track in second and third place. Remember, the last man goes out at the moment. That'll be Kasper. But this man, Brian Karger, will march on as they go on to lap 3. Karger now picking it up, selecting the space on the track and extending his lead.
Yes, he is, Tony. It's interesting, but the first 5 races, if it stays like this, are going to be won off gate 1. So we can see that Karger's having a great run here now, and he's pulling away from the opposition.
Brian Karger in front of the red helmet colours. He picks it up and goes well. He's going to take the checkered flag. He's going to march on. Brian Karger takes this in red. In second place with time to look back is Robert Danos in yellow and black. Third in the blue helmet colours, coasting across the line and out to the Grand Prix. That is Tony Kasper. Disappointment all round for him. Brian Karger, the race winner, shakes hands with Robert Danos. They will march on. Is Andy Smith. There's the lineup. 2 Swedes on the inside and 1 on the outside, sandwiching Andy Smith. Jimmy Nilsson from gate 1 in the red helmet colours. Dano from the outside, who rode for Eastbourne for part of the season back in Britain. They look down at the tapes. The magnet's released. Up go the tapes, and away goes on the inside Jimmy Nilsson. And Jimmy Nilsson, when he gets here, doesn't get beaten too often. He will ride with some comfort. He's been put under some pressure now by Peter KARLSSON, but Jimmy Nilsson's got the right line. Jimmy Nilsson's got the speed and got the gearing correct now, it seems. He goes wider and wider now with a lap and a half gone, pursued by Peter KARLSSON, struggling behind Stefan Dano, who will fade out and go home. And right at the back's Andy Smith. It looks as if it's curtains for our Andy PC.
It does. Jimmy Nilsson's made a good start, like we said. He's covering, but on the inside, Peter KARLSSON is really having to go. Peter's a very good rider. He can ride the tight track, but he knows that if he stays in second place, this is going to be good enough for him because he will progress to the next round.
Jimmy Nilsson with a lap to go out front of Peter KARLSSON. Nilsson in the red helmet colours, KARLSSON in the blue helmet colours. These two will march on. The other two will have to go home. Sadly, Andy Smith will mean one Brit tumbling out. But Jimmy Nilsson of Sweden, Peter KARLSSON of Sweden take the checkered flag. Third place, a disappointment for Stefan Dano in yellow. Disappointment for Andy Smith as well, because the 2 Swedes march on. Andy Smith and Stefan Dano can pack their kit. In 1997, I think it was. There's the lineup. Chris Louis on the inside, Ipswich in England. Peter KARLSSON, Michael KARLSSON goes from gate 2 from Wolverhampton, of course, and Sweden. Mark Laram from Poole and England goes from gate 3. And John Jorgensen, the Dane now riding Wolverhampton, he goes from the outside in yellow and black. That's the lineup. This is heat number 7. A gap left there between gate 3 and gate 4. Up fly the tapes. Mark Laram in gate 3 pushes through. Mark Laram picks up the grip. Mark Laram gets the lead down the back straight. Chris Louis is with him. It's Fritz 1 and 2. The challenge on at the back now from Jorgensen and Michael KARLSSON, but these two will surely look after each other. Louis has packed up though. Look, Chris Louis at the back, fading out, mechanical problems. Real disappointment for Chris Louis. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But Mark Laram will carry the flag. Chris Louis, you see on the graph, we'll have to find out what happened there. But real disappointment for him, which allows Michael KARLSSON to pick up second place now. And Michael KARLSSON is there in the blue helmet colours behind Mark Laram. Real disappointment, and certainly disappointment too for John Jorgensen, because this is now a two-horse race in more ways than one. Time is on their side. Mark Laram is going to take this in the white helmet colours ahead of Michael KARLSSON in blue. The other two have packed up, well, just about coming into shape at the back is John Jorgensen in yellow. Fourth place will go to Chris Louis in red. I don't know whether he lost a chain or what it was coming round that bend. He was bumping and bucking. Rick Hancock in the red helmet colours, Billy Hamill in the blue. Jesper Jensen goes from gate 3 in white. Mario Yurut goes in yellow and black from the outside. Two Americans win this one, Peter, first and second surely.
Well, they've got the favourable start positions there, both on the inside, so, you know, things are looking good for them, so I'm sure they're trying to consolidate on this.
Away we go, and look, picking it up is Billy Hamill. Hamill goes wide, Hancock picks up the inside, but look, pushing through is Jesper Jensen, but the Americans have got it there. They've got command of the track, and now they have the ability to help each other, and I'm sure they will, because back in third place is Jesper Jensen. It's Billy Hamill out front now. Hamill heading his compatriot Greg Hancock. Hancock's back in second place. Challenge on from Jensen. At the back, Mario Yurut will tumble out, or will have to race at least in one of the next two heats. But this is going well for the Americans, and class is coming through here, Peter.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're riding for Uncle Sam in this race. They're both riding for America. They want these first two places, and I don't think they're going to be too worried about which way round they finish, but it's looking good for them right now.
They're going to have to do something the way the Ryder Cup's going at the moment, with Britain and Europe on top, but here goes Billy Hamill in blue. In second place in red is Greg Hancock. These two former world champions will go through to the main event without too many problems here. And in third place in the white helmet colours, Jesper Jensen, Mario Yurut in yellow, and Billy Hamill takes the checkered flag there. We now know that these two will march on, and certainly from their point of view, gate 3, Mario Yurut from the outside. Peter Collins, well, they're battling for places.
They certainly are, but I must say here tonight, the track's standing up really well after all the rain we've had. It's softened up right down to the base, and there's lots and lots of grip out there, and the track is going to be really grippy all through, I'm sure of that.
Heat number 9 then. Remember, the last two riders are eliminated. They can go home. The front two march on to the main event. Up go the tapes. A flyer on the inside for Karga. He knows the track like the back of his hand, but going around the outside in white is John Jorgensen. Danes 1 and 2, but coming through Peter KARLSSON to pick up second place. Also coming through Mario Yurut at the back. Oh, he forces his way through the rider from the Czech Republic, but then drops back. But out front is where it counts, and these two are battling with Karga and Peter KARLSSON. Peter KARLSSON trying to pick it up on the inside. John Jorgensen holding a firm line and holding pole position, and at the moment it's the back two who will go out. These two have 2 laps to stay in front, 2 laps to enter the main event, and for the back two, well, they will be tumbling out. Peter, this is competitive, but now 2 races.
Yeah, certainly, and Brian Karga there and Peter KARLSSON riding very, very well side by side here. KARLSSON's made his move to go by Brian Karga, and Karga's moved a little bit wide.
He's gone wide and picked up the grip and therefore the speed, and now KARLSSON is going to have to battle, but I don't think he'll be too worried, because as they go through here now, it's red, blue, white, and that means that Jorgensen and Yurut can go home, and the two that march on are Brian Karga from Denmark in red, Peter KARLSSON from Wolverhampton and Sweden in blue.
Number 2 bike, but he's on the outside start position, which isn't really Chris's favourite, but I know that if Chris misses the start, he's going to chop right back to the inside, and I feel the way the track is right now, he could pick off some places and possibly get up into that second qualifying spot.
Having said that, though, the inside all the way round is not the fastest now. They've got to go mid-track when they come out of the bend, haven't they?
Yeah, I think Jimmy Nilsson probably is going to struggle possibly if he gets out in front, because it is very choppy round the inside, and Jimmy doesn't like that much.
They go wider, I expect. Starling Marshall walks away. Nilsson looks across at the tapes of the red helmet colours. Picks it up, comes wide immediately. Chris Louis picks up the speed round the outside, but is back at the rear and still, oh, look at this, because tumbling down and tumbling out is Jesper Jensen. He almost impeded Chris Louis. Louis got work to do to chase Nielsen. It's announced Danos, the surprise packet out front in blue now, and Chris Louis has work to do, and either Jimmy Nielsen there in red or Chris Louis is going to tumble out, and they've got a race for these braces, because somehow Danos has made it to the front, and with 2 laps to go, will work at the back.
Yeah, Robert Danos really got out of that start well there, made a good first corner around the outside of Jimmy Nielsen. Jimmy struggled a bit on the first turn, but Chris Louis now, Chris is putting Jimmy under pressure, but has he got enough speed?
It looks not. Jimmy Nielsen will hold it at the moment, but Chris Louis is going to have to take some risks. And look at Chris Louis going. He will try. He's battling. He's got half a lap to do it. Chris Louis has work to do. Chris is going round the outside. Can Chris pick it up? Oh, disappointment in the end, because Danos wins it. Nielsen gets second place in red, and Chris Louis tumbles out of the Grand Prix. Real disappointment for Chris Louis, because that means he will not. He'll be looking for a swan song and a half here. Jumping about a little bit on your screens back home, but we're looking down on this and we can see 4 class riders.
Hans Nielsen's got the best start position, but I don't think he's going to like all that dirt on the first turn. We'll see.
Well, we'll wait to see. Starling Marshall walks away. 4 class riders. Already, of course, 2 of the world champions of the past. Round the outside goes Hancock. Hancock picks it up, a brilliant ride by him, but Joe Screen comes through, and now look who comes through, Hans Nielsen on the inside. What a race we have here. In blue, it's Joe Screen out front, Hans Nielsen in second place. Greg Hancock is third, but squeezing him on the inside, it's Mark the Ram. Mark will try to come through the field. Mark has got up to third place. This is Hans Nielsen. Hans Nielsen is behind Joe Screen. Brits are 1 and 3. But what a race. Joe's doing well.
Oh, fabulous for Joe there, because he's cold going in this race, as is Hans Nielsen. And Screen is riding the ride of his life here to stay ahead of this pack, because it's a very, very difficult heat to come into first off.
And Screen is extending his lead here now. In second place is Hans Nielsen. Through in third is Mark the Ram. Greg Hancock is struggling. Looks as if the Ram and Hancock will have to battle again to stay in this Grand Prix. But what a brilliant ride by Joe Screen. So many times people have suggested that Joe Screen has been the best motorcyclist, the best all-round motorcyclist in Britain. Well, tonight, perhaps he's going to show it. The number 19, the salute, the flamboyant level freeze, the winner of the A final gets 25 points. That's what they're all looking for. These are the eliminations. Tony Rickardsson on the inside. Jason Olsen, Billy Hamill goes from gate 3. Progressive with the inside, the most popular. And Tony Rickardsson is right on the inside as the tapes fly up. Tony Rickardsson holds pole position, but look, coming round on the outside in white, it's Billy Hamill. And look at the grip for Michael KARLSSON. He's shut out by Hamill in white, which gives Rickardsson an opportunity on the inside. But there's a battle join here, because look at KARLSSON going through into second place behind Billy Hamill. Hamill in the white helmet colours at the rear. Jason Crump, he has an awful lot to do, but what a battle now. Rickardsson moving through there and battling into second place. What a race here, but Hamill is on his own out front.
Yeah, Billy Hamill has certainly got the bit between his teeth, but Tony Rickardsson there, he rode exceptionally well over those bumps the first 2 laps to try and get ahead there of Michael KARLSSON, who was really putting him under pressure on the outside.
On the final lap, Rickardsson has squeezed through into second place. He's still got a battle to hold him off. Coming through into third now is Jason Crump. But on the outside at the back there, oh, what a battle. But Rickardsson is going to hold it. He's going to march on behind Hamill. Third place goes to the man in yellow and black, Michael KARLSSON. He will have to battle again. Tony Rickardsson gets second place. Jason Crump surprisingly last. But what a ride by Billy Hamill. Remember, Hamill came into this having won Heat 8. He's
SVR machines.
There's the lineup. Sullivan on the inside. Gustafsson gate 2. Brian Carger the Dane from gate 3. And on the outside, Jimmy Nielsen from Sweden. Jimmy Nielsen going into this, of course, lying third in the Grand Prix series. And anxious to make ground, but it's going to be tough for him with the big 2, GOLLOB and Rickardsson in front of him. This is Heat 13. Starling Marshall walks away. Tapes go up quickly this time and away. In blue goes Henrik Gustafsson. Gustafsson in pole position round that bend. Picking up the grip on the outside. Jimmy Nielsen into second place. But then he's relegated almost to last now as Brian Sullivan comes through in the red helmet colours. Nielsen is wide. Sullivan comes through into second place. Nielsen will have a go, relegating Carger to last place. But the man at the front of it all at the moment and battling well in the blue helmet colours there, that is Henrik Gustafsson. He's come into it cold and he's come into it fast though in this one.
Yeah, Henrik's having a great ride there. He must like this bit of the track when it's a little bit grippy. We know he loves to go full throttle as much as he can, and he's just about holding off Ryan Sullivan now. They seem to be spacing out a little bit, and there Gustafsson is having a great ride there, leading this heat.
Ryan Sullivan opening up a gap in front of third place and holding it. The man in third place is Brian Carger. Carger fading back. Sullivan losing ground on Henrik Gustafsson. Gustafsson down the back straight, leading by 8 to 9 metres and looking relatively comfortable. Gustafsson comes into this straight. Gustafsson takes the checkered flag in blue ahead of Ron Sullivan in red. And disappointment, well, certainly Brian Carger and Jimmy Nielsen are going to have to qualify. Or again, they cannot afford to finish third or fourth because they will tumble out. But there's colours. Peter KARLSSON, of course, who rides for Wolverhampton back in England, and of course is Swedish. 2 Poles, an Australian and a Swede. Another tough one, PC.
Yeah, the pressure of the whole of Poland on Tomasz Gollob's shoulders tonight here, and can he do the business and hang on to that narrow lead that he's got over Tony Rickardsson?
Away they go for the tapes in blue. It's Lee Adams. Adams picks up pole position. Speed round the outside in white from Danos again, who's learned the track earlier on tonight. But look at the gap opened by Lee Adams, who's got it right straight away, coming onto the track cold. The Aussie from German, a tumble down for Danos, and Danos will have to battle again. He's come off. I don't know if the referee will let this go on with Danos on the track, but they're still going at the moment, and there they have to pull up. The referee stops that, and I'm sure that Danos will be out of this one unless there's a very odd decision made. Disappointment for Danos, tumbling out as he came off that bend, PC. He lost control completely.
Yeah, you saw that. He got a load of grip in the middle of the corner, just in the place where he didn't want it. Down he went. The referee stopped the race because Robert's bike was lying in the centre of the track. Robert was very quickly up on his feet here, and we can see there he slides off quite harmlessly, and he's walking back to the pits, but I'm sure he's excluded.
Well, he's been helped back to the pits there by Billy Hamill and will probably be excluded from the rerun. We await our referee's decision, but the lads back in the studio during the break back in England, I'm sure, will be attracted by this. Tomasz Gollob will have to wait a little bit longer, but, well, the battle is joined, isn't it?
You know, I think this is possibly or hopefully going to be a short-term thing, and here Gollob on the inside has got everything to do now the track is beginning to get slippery.
Away we go then. Tomasz Gollob on the inside in blue. It's Lee Adams next to him. Adams had picked it up first time out, but Gollob's there. Adams comes through on the inside, leaves Gollob in his wake. Gollob will have to try again. It's tough conditions out there. In yellow and black, it's Peter KARLSSON at the rear. But look at these two going wider and wider. Gollob comes back across to shut the gate on Lee Adams. Gollob is leading, but Adams comes again on the inside. It's ding-dong, merrily on high here. Gollob goes wide. He'll slip. Coming through is Adams. What a battle here. 2 laps gone. It's Adams in first place. Gollob in second. At the rear is Peter KARLSSON. It may be raining, but the action is hot and thick and fast.
Yeah, the conditions are difficult, but the 2 boys here who are coming out cold, Adams and Gollob, this is their first ride, and they're coping with it very, very well here.
But look at this, Adams stretches the lead. Gollob is now being put under pressure by Peter KARLSSON. There we see the picture. KARLSSON has to remove the visor, but coming through to win it is Lee Adams in blue. He looks back. Tomasz Gollob gets second place judge. It'll have to be battle again for Peter KARLSSON in yellow. But Tomasz Gollob will march on to the next stage along with this man here, Lee Adams. The Poles are delighted with that. I'm on the inside. Brian Carger goes to gate 2. Jason Crump, gate 3. Robert Danos from the outside after his tumble to heat 14. Away they go. The Ram comes wider, picks it up. Cutting him short and coming across him is Jason Crump, but away they go. In red, it's Mark the Ram. Carger is the man in blue. Crump is back in third place in white. What a battle here. At the rear and out of control, it seems, is Robert Danos. His day is surely over. But look at this out front, because bucking and rearing there is Jason Crump. He's done for second place there by Brian Carger. Crump comes back again. The Ram is way out in front of these two, but now the Ram locks up. Track conditions far from easy here. Yeah. It's mighty tough.
Yeah, Mark almost lost it there. He totally spun right round, almost stopped dead, just about got going in time, and now he's leaving the pack again, hopefully hanging on to this first place.
Well, the last 2 go out, of course. They're eliminated from this one, but Mark the Ram will move on. In second place in blue is Brian Carger. Jason Crump faces a battle royal to stay in this Grand Prix, and I don't think he's going to do it. It's mighty tough for the Australian now from the Gold Coast as he comes round there. Mark the Ram has time to look back. In blue in second place it's Brian Carger. Sadly for Jason Crump, he tumbles out of the Grand Prix, and for Jason Crump, well, that will certainly affect his final position in the countdown, but he will remain in the top 10.
A lot of grass tracking experience, and you know, it really counts when the track is like this. Quite slippery out here now, and Mark there makes a good start off the inside. Now the inside start position is off the racing line, so it's not too slippery there from gate 1, but as soon as he gets to the apex of the turn, he has to get onto that slippy part, but he makes a great job of that. Marvellous first turn there from Mark, and he's just pulling away now from Brian Carger, but Jason Crump's having that big blast around the outside. Those dirt deflectors there on the back of the bikes there really doing a good job, stopping too much of that mud flying up in the air and keeping it off the rider's goggles. But there, just look at Jason Crump there, he really caught a bad bump on the inside, and marvellous how he's managed to keep going without losing hardly any ground whatsoever. Looks back to see if he's still got that position, but possibly that was the time where he lost the second place, because that allowed Brian Carger to dive up the inside. When they entered the top turn there, Brian seemed to have a better line around the inside, but Mark got in a bit of difficulty himself there, but corrected it marvellously, and Mark carries on now, and he moves into the next stage of this, and great news for English boys, that's for sure.
Well, a tremendous ride by Mark Moran once again, and it's
Could win it then. Jimmy Nilsson could finish second, and that would do Chris a big favour.
There's the lineup. On the inside, it's Michael KARLSSON in red, Peter KARLSSON in blue. It's Greg Hancock in white. Goes from gate 3, and Jimmy Nilsson from the outside in yellow and black. Our starting marcher moves away. We seem to have lost ourselves here. Moving on down to heat 16. I've lost all circuits here. I hope you can hear me back in England. But in red here, it's Michael KARLSSON leading the way. In the blue helmet colours, in second place, it's Peter KARLSSON. Back in third place, in white, it's Greg Hancock. In fourth, in yellow and black, Jimmy Nilsson. Jimmy Nilsson could tumble out of the Grand Prix Series here, but there's a lot to do for him. Out front in the red helmet colours there. Well, Michael KARLSSON is certainly doing well. This is what we wanted to see. In the blue helmet colours there in second place, that is his brother Peter KARLSSON. Quite the reverse order from what we wanted for the Brits, and really from every point of view, this is desperately disappointing. But away they go down this back straight, and I can see that in front the two KARLSSON brothers are going to peak. Chris Louis waiting. Disappointing too though for the two at the back, Greg Hancock and Jimmy Nilsson, but what an effort for them. Well, they're going to have to do well here, because the KARLSSONs will march on, and the last two eliminated. A real surprise that. What a disappointment for Greg Hancock and Jimmy Nilsson, but the KARLSSON brothers, well, they will shake hands. You can see the Noel Green from the inside, Gustafsson gate 2, RICKARDSSON gate 3, GOLLOB from the outside. That is the lineup, and well, this is going to be a tough one, because somebody somehow is going to have to battle back and have a second attempt, aren't they?
Yeah, I think GOLLOB wasn't very impressive in his first one, that's for sure, but I'm cheering for Screeny in this one.
Well, I know you are, Peter Collins, a mentor for Joe Screen, but Tony RICKARDSSON and TOMASZ GOLLOB on the outside too. There's GOLLOB in the yellow helmet colours, RICKARDSSON in the white. They look down, up fly the tape, Screen's on the inside. Coming across, GOLLOB right across from the outside. RICKARDSSON leads him out, and Joe Screen goes through. GOLLOB relegated to third place. He will take him even wider. GOLLOB goes wide. Screen picks it up. In second place now, it's Tony RICKARDSSON. Gustafsson is nowhere. What a battle here, but what a brilliant ride by Joe Screen. Bucking and rearing in second place is Tony RICKARDSSON, and TOMASZ GOLLOB is back in third. This could be a psychological advantage for Tony RICKARDSSON. GOLLOB now seems to be fading further back now, because GOLLOB, oh, he's packing up altogether, TOMASZ GOLLOB. Something is radically wrong with his machinery or his attitude. But look at Joe Screen. Joe Screen out there takes the checkered flag in red in second place. Well, Tony RICKARDSSON there in white. Third place goes to the man in blue, Henrik Gustafsson, and TOMASZ GOLLOB. Well, for him, it's really been a nightmare this, because here we go, checkered flag in second place in white, RICKARDSSON, and well, I just wonder what went wrong with TOMASZ GOLLOB. Joe Screen knows full well that he led from pillar to post, and Peter, you said you were cheering for the young man born in Chesterfield, but a native on the inside. Lee Adams in blue goes from gate 2. In the white helmet colours, Hans Nielsen from gate 3. The rain continues to pour down. It's Ron Sullivan on the outside in yellow and black. This is heat 18. Remember, the first two march on towards the semi-finals. Of course, the have to be in the consolation final. And still we haven't a winner from the outside. We thought it was going to come close with Tomasz Gollob last time out. Favourite gate is gate number 1, and that's where Billy Hamill goes from, where he has ridden so well already. Look across the tapes, up the tapes on the inside in red. Billy Hamill picks it up and comes wide, going round the outside in yellow. Ryan Sullivan caught up now, coming through in blue. That's Lee Adams into second place. Sullivan has work to do. At the back, Hans Nielsen will have to battle again to stay in this Grand Prix, because he looks as if he's outpaced here, and maybe the track conditions are telling against the Professor, because the young pretenders out front are Billy Hamill in the red helmet colours and Lee Adams in blue. That man in yellow is Ryan Sullivan. He too has work to do, but it's going great for Billy Hamill out front.
Yeah, it is. Billy's done really well tonight. He's been consistently riding good, making good corners, overtaking, good first turns. Now Billy's out there in front in this heat ahead of Lee Adams. The track seems to be cutting up quite a bit here. We've got a few holes appearing, and a lot of these top lads are struggling a little bit, but certainly Billy there is going away, and he looks as though he's got this race sewn up.
It'll be the third heat win in 3 rides for Billy Hamill, who's looked good here tonight. In second place in blue, it's Lee Adams. He won heat 14, of course, so it's 2 wins out of 2 for him. There in third place in yellow and black is Ron Sullivan. He and Hans Nielsen will have to battle again, and certainly for Billy Hamill, it's a golden night here at Vojens. But KARLSSON from gate 2, the Swede Henrik Gustafsson goes from gate 3, and the Dane, the Professor, Hans Nielsen, could be this be his farewell to World Championship Speedway. If he finishes other than in the first 2, it will be bye-bye to the Professor. The last lecture will be over, but maybe he can produce something. This could be a memorable day for Hans Nielsen, or it may be one he'll want to forget. Away they go, heat 19. Nielsen makes it from the outside, an unfavoured gate, but look at the Professor. He's picked it up, he's in front. He doesn't want to say farewell easily. In second place is Mark the Ram. The Ram is chasing him all the way. There goes Hans Nielsen in front, followed by Mark the Ram. Gustafsson is back in third place. Disappointment for Peter KARLSSON, which had helped Chris Louis. But what a ride by Hans Nielsen. He could be the first to win it from the outside, and that's a surprise. The track is wet. The Professor continues to decent piece me.
That's right, but just look at Mark Laram. Mark's been all over the back there of Hans Nielsen, but Mark probably realises that this second place is good enough to take him into the top 8 and into the semi-finals. This is great news for Mark, because Henrik Gustafsson now in white is dropping back, but Hans Nielsen out in front is putting on a great show now in his last ever GP.
A tremendous ride by Hans Nielsen. We know now that he will make the last 8. We know now that this is not the farewell ride, and we know now that Hans Nielsen is going to take the checkered flag. Ahead of Mark the Ram in third place in blue is Peter KARLSSON, and that will count towards helping Chris Louis to qualify. But Hans Nielsen, he's not going to give in easily. He's not going to give up easily. He's in the
Big gosh, and he's struggling tonight.
There's the lineup. It's MIKAEL KARLSSON on the inside of Brian Carger. Ryan Sullivan from gate 3. Tomasz Gollob from the outside. We caught a glimpse of his finger taped up. We know that he's riding with a painkiller. We know that he's far from comfortable. But Tomasz Gollob, well, they breed him hard in Poland. And I know that the Speedway Press, that very good magazine, the Speedway Star, has suggested that we shouldn't keep telling people about him being the highest paid sportsman in Poland. He says he's only in the top 6, poor fellow. This is heat number 20. First 2 to the semi-finals. Remember, the last 2 are eliminated. And that gate 1, only one heat has been won from the outside, of course. But now, the battle is joined. Tomasz Gollob will want to win it from there this time. He's got plenty of space, as we see, as the starting marshal walks away. They look down at the tapes, up fly those tapes now. And Gollob tries to come across. He's balked a bit here because Carger in blue holds it. Gollob is last. Gollob could be going out of the Grand Prix here. RICKARDSSON could be the world champion as a result of this here. If it stays like this, Tomasz Gollob goes out. RICKARDSSON wins the world title. Out front in red is MIKAEL KARLSSON. In blue there, hugging the curb, is Brian Carger. The man in yellow and black is Tomasz Gollob, who looks to be eclipsed. Drama is happening here in heat 20 at Vojens, because look at Tomasz Gollob. Well, they've stopped the heat for some reason here, with Sullivan tumbling out, and that will perhaps give a lifeline for Tomasz Gollob. Real problems for Ryan Sullivan and Tomasz Gollob. I wonder, Peter Collins, if that will be the lifeline that may change the destiny of the world title, because had that not happened, Tomasz Gollob would undoubtedly have been out with MIKAEL KARLSSON and Carger in front.
Yeah, is that an 11th hour reprieve there for Tomasz Gollob? Ryan Sullivan gets it all wrong going into that turn. We can see that he loses it entering the turn, slides off, and GOLLOB. The race has now been stopped. GOLLOB has now got another chance. Ryan Sullivan there looking very, very angry with himself because he was in a decent position, possibly a challenging position for second place. He's standing the bike up there, walking back to the pits, very, very disappointed because I'm sure that he will be the man that's excluded. And only 3 riders in this next heat, with TOMASZ GOLLOB on the outside, with the gate 3 position vacant. A lot of room for TOMASZ GOLLOB to make manoeuvres on that first turn. The first turn is going to be so crucial.
Well, from afar, 3 world champions of different categories have seen that, and I just wonder what the lads in the studio think of that effect on TOMASZ GOLLOB.
Well, Tony, I can tell you for something, we haven't been able to stop them shouting and screaming here at the moment. And more controversy, I have to say, from our trio of panellists here at the moment. Gary, bit of a theory here.
Yeah, we think, well...
You think?
I think, yeah. They're teammates in Poland.
Is it Sullivan and GOLLOB?
Yeah, and it looked a bit conspicuous the way Ryan fell off there and managed to get himself stuck underneath the bike.
Well, it's certainly given GOLLOB a second chance, hasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think if you watch from the start as well, I don't know if we'll get to show the start, it actually looked like Ryan made the start on him, but tended to shut off going in the first corner.
Well, we're all trying to work out the mathematics here in the studio regarding this. TOMASZ GOLLOB is given a second chance out here in Heat 20 before we join the finals. But Sullivan, I'll tell you what, for a man that might have laid it down, doesn't look to me like he was too happy with that. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, I think. Yeah, I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's not happy with that at all.
Well, we probably have a run-off, but here at the moment, that's not in contention. This is Heat 20, and we know that Ryan Sullivan is excluded. We have MIKAEL KARLSSON on the inside, Brian Carger from gate 2, and TOMASZ GOLLOB from the outside. Now with more space, they're looking on. Is Tony Rickardson worried? But GOLLOB has it all to do here because he's back in 3rd place. He will now try and force his way through. But look, Brian Carger in blue. In 2nd place is MIKAEL KARLSSON, and GOLLOB, if he stays there, will fade out, and he's going backwards, Peter Collins.
Yeah, like we said, Brian Carger certainly knows his way around this track. He's a Dane on one of his home tracks. MIKAEL KARLSSON also riding that inside. They've given TOMASZ GOLLOB such a lot of work to do. Thomas is now dropping back. That second bike doesn't look as though it's quick enough, and he's really suffering in this race, and I'm sure the whole of Poland's on his shoulders, and there he is looking very heavy indeed.
There are crowds of disappointed Polish faces under the floodlights here. This man is gritting his teeth because he's within 1 ride of being world champion now, because this heat is going to be won by MIKAEL KARLSSON ahead of Brian Carger. TOMASZ GOLLOB will go out and get 8 Grand Prix points, and that means that 2nd place in the consolation final or better will be enough to make Tony Rickardson undisputed champion. At the back for TOMASZ GOLLOB is retiring now. Tony Rickardson knows he's not got a great deal to do now, but there is TOMASZ GOLLOB. Disappointment for him, and Tony Rickardson now knows it's a question of mathematics, because 14 points would be his score from 2nd position in Heat 23. TOMASZ GOLLOB has 8, so that would be enough to give him the title, but that heat won by, well, what a performance. Cheering, and certainly the man alongside me, Peter Collins, will be. How good is Joe? Can he do it, PC?
Yeah, Joe's a fantastic motorcycle rider. I mean, he's just a natural. I mean, he's not always had the right brakes. World Championships have eluded him. He has been under 21 world champion, but, you know, when he gets the chance to shine, he can do. And really in this race, he's got a nice inside gate, and also the track's been graded extensively, so it just might be what it's waiting for.
There we go then, screen on the inside, Lee Adams gate 2, Brian Carger gate 3, the Professor Hans Nielsen on the outside. Oh, and now that will be an exclusion for Lee Adams, I'm sure, for tape touching there, and our referee Wolfgang Glass will have to make a decision. For my money, it was Lee Adams who touched the tape. We'll have to wait and see the official decision from the referee, but what a way for somebody to tumble out at the semi-final stage, PC. I really don't think that that's the way it should happen, but it did. Just Lee Adams, I think, not screening.
Yeah, you see that Lee there, very, very nervous. When you get to this point, you know, everything's on. Hans Nielsen also moved on the outside, but the first one to move was Lee Adams. Lee's gone back into the pits. We can see Lee there in the blue. He was at fault. Front wheel touched those tapes first, and exactly right there by the referee, sent Lee straight back to the pits.
Well, that means that Lee Adams effectively gains 4th place from this heat, and that means he will be in the consolation final only. So it's down to 7 to decide from whom tonight's Grand Prix champion comes. That man there is Joe Screen. The pat on his back to get him away and on his way to tapes. And, well, at the moment, Peter, it's going Joe Screen's way, isn't it?
Well, you know, he's got one rider less to beat now in this race, and he's got a clear space next to him. And certainly when the track conditions are like this, it does make a difference, the more room you've got. Hans Nielsen, the professor, is on the outside starting position, and whether Hans is brave enough to blast round the outside of Screen here, Screen is there or thereabouts on the first turn, remains to be seen. We can see some clutch adjustments there. This is very crucial now. There's a lot of nerves jangling now. Hans, really, that was Hans's bike there. His mechanic was adjusting that clutch. He's going to have a look on the middle of the track now. See what
Screen. An absent space where Lee Adams was eliminated for tape touching. Brian Carger gained 3. Hans Nielsen the outside. Up go the tape. Screeny keeps it down. Nielsen comes across. Nielsen comes across and picks it up. The professor is doing it again. When will this man be eclipsed? Because Hans Nielsen is out front. Brian Carger's in second place. Joe Screen's got work to do. Joe Screen's hopes of a final place are fading here in the shadow of the great man, the 39-year-old from Frost here in Denmark. Hans Nielsen is out front. Joe Screen is making an effort to catch Brian Carger. Joe Screen's trying on the inside. Brian Carger goes wider to shut the gate. Nobody's going to touch Hans Nielsen out front. There goes Joe Screen into second place. The final hopes are raised again for the man who was born in Chesterfield. Joe Screen, who rides for Hull and teammate of Samo Malenko back in the studio, could make his A final place here, safe and sure with this ride, behind Hans Nielsen. And in third place is Brian Carger, but Hans Nielsen is wheel perfect. Hans Nielsen takes the checkered flag, and Joe Screen is through to the A final. The fans from Denmark are cheering. The fans from Britain are cheering, because we know we've got a Brit in the final, and we know that Mark Laram still has to go inside. Tony Rickardsson, the world champion, goes from gate 2. It's MIKAEL KARLSSON from gate 3, and on the outside, that is Mark Laram. Another truly competitive semi-final in place here. Away they go on the inside in red. Billy Hamill is held back. Coming through in blue there is Tony Rickardsson. Rickardsson followed down the back straight by MIKAEL KARLSSON. Coming through into third place is Billy Hamill. A battle at the back, a battle in front, and down goes the man in yellow and black, Mark Laram. I wonder if the referee, yes he is, Wolfgang Glatz, is stopping this one. It seems Mark Laram will be excluded as the cause of the stoppage in that one, and there's one less for Tony Rickardsson to pick off. That man Billy Hamill is down as well. I wonder if our referee will deem that to be Hamill's fault, PC.
Well, that's a tough one. I think Hamill came under Mark Laram there. We can see there Billy loses it going into the turn. He takes Mark Laram's line, so we could very easily see now that Billy Hamill could be excluded from this one, or Mark Laram, but I've got a feeling here it's going to be Billy Hamill.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what the referee's decision is. We can see it there, and certainly wheels touched. Hamill may have been at fault, Laram may have been at fault. They both came off, but I wonder what the lads in the studio watching that on screen think of that little incident.
Don't ask, Tony, because you can't believe the row that's going on in here at the moment. Kelvin and Sam have come to the closest they've come to blows. Billy Hamill, we reckon, is going to get excluded, but Sam, you're not happy about that, are you?
Well, what can you do? It's racing. They're all going for it, you know. And
I mean, can't believe you're saying that.
I can't believe that.
That was just
desperation.
Yeah, but
it looks like
Billy's just steamed under our main man there and taking him out.
Not only are they going to lose the golf, not only are they going to lose the golf, but they're also going to lose here as well. Billy Hamill has been riding brilliantly to take the frivolity away from this. Billy Hamill, I can confirm, has been excluded. We are now told from trackside he's been excluded. Bad luck, Sam.
Yeah, the story tells it. I mean, he walked off there all disappointed, so obviously they made a decision.
Well, that was a disaster. I mean, I'm sorry it had to be Billy, actually, because
all four back.
He's ridden very well. All four back.
All four back. It was first corner, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah, first lap.
I think he tried to finish off what he was trying to do on Wednesday.
I think the guy that's going to be most disappointed by that is Tony Rickardsson, because Tony Rickardsson was in front and was going to be world champion.
Yeah, but he's only got to beat one man now to be world champion.
But still, he's still got to do it again, and so I feel that he'll probably feel crikey, you know.
What's going to happen is if he goes...
No man on the inside with Hamill excluded. Tony Rickardsson needing a first or second place in this to be world champion. MIKAEL KARLSSON goes from gate 3. Mark Laram goes from the outside. If Mark Laram finishes in the first 2, we have 2 Brits in the final. The Starling Marshall moves away. The riders look across. The tapes fly up. Laram gets a flyer from the outside, but he's got to go the long way round. He's held up in blue. It's Rickardsson. Laram goes through to take them all on into second place. relegates Michael KARLSSON to third. That's crucial for Chris Louis. Tony Rickardsson bucking and rearing, but Tony Rickardsson, with just under 3 laps to go, knows that he'll be world champion if he stays here. Tony Rickardsson down the back straight, ahead of Mark Laram, who could join fellow countryman Joe Screen in the final. It's all going well for Laram, but going even better for world champion Tony Rickardsson.
Yeah, Mark Laram's riding those ruts like an express train there, using them to fire him out of those turns, but Tony Rickardsson looking every inch a world champion here. What a ride. He looked so clean, he stayed out in that position the whole of the race.
Tony Rickardsson, half a lap to go. Mark Laram looks back anxiously. Tony Rickardsson is going to be world champion if he holds it in front in this semi-final. Tony Rickardsson in blue takes the cheers. Tony Rickardsson is world champion for the second successive year. The last world champion of the millennium. Mark Laram makes it 2 Brits to the final, but this man takes the honours, takes the plaudits. We'll be looking for the rostrum place here tonight for the Grand Prix at Vojens, but he knows now that he once again is world champion. And Tony Rickardsson of Sweden, Tony Rickardsson may or may not be retiring, but at 29 years old from Avesta in Sweden, he is the world champion for the 3rd time and the 2nd successive year. Celebrations all round. Congratulations from Hans Nielsen, sportingly among them. We know now that Tony Rickardsson of King's Lynn in England, he is the world champion. We may see him next Thursday on Sky Sports, depending on how things pan out. But we are seeing him tonight winning that world title. He's deserved it, PC.
Oh, fantastic. You know, Tony, it's just unbelievable what time does. 60 seconds ago, Tony Rickardsson was probably so nervous about this. Right now, the world has seen another World Championship victory for him.
Well, this is how it went, PC, and certainly Rickardsson all the way made it his own, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Here he is on the start. He had to do it twice after that first race exclusion from Billy Hamill. He rode a fabulous first turn across those bumps. That's where all the damage was done against the opposition. You can see there, he pulls away from the start, so determined. He's beginning to realise now, as he's got fresh air on that first turn, he's beginning to realise that that World Championship, that 3rd title, is almost his. He knows now 3.5 laps to go and he's going to be world champion, and I can't see him giving up next year to go car racing exclusively. I think he's going to want to ride next year because he is the ultimate speedway rider right now, and he has been for the last couple of years. He won his first title on the old individual event, but this time and the time before has been done over the Grand Prix system, and the way he had that exclusion earlier on in the year, and he fought back from that really, and to win today in front of this fantastic Danish crowd. Fabulous speedway, and there we go. What a world champion.
Well, I certainly can see the smiles on all the faces, even for Hans Nielsen. And we've got 3 world champions back in the studio, a 4th one in mid-air here in Vojens. Laz, what do you think of the white helmet cars? In fact, goes from gate 3, and Billy Hamill goes from the outside. I just have some information wrongly, but we'll get that correct now with Lee Adams going from gate 3, and Billy Hamill on the outside goes in yellow and black. Michael KARLSSON on the inside, Brian Carger from gate 2. Away they go now, and in the blue helmet colours there, whistling through the number 9 there. That's Brian Carger in the blue helmet colours. Away he goes, now out front there in white and looking good. This is a brilliant ride here, is number 22 there. That is Billy Hamill. Hamill in the white helmet colours away down there. They shuffled us, they don't as bad with those helmet colours, because it is Billy Hamill in white there. Goes down that back straight in front. Certainly in the murk here, difficult to see, but Billy Hamill is heading them home. Billy Hamill in white is doing brilliantly here. Chased by Brian Carger in the blue helmet colours inside. Carger's gone wide, Carger's out, and now the battle is joined in 2nd place. And coming through, well, there is Lee Adams. He's battling here, but disappointment for Brian Carger. But Billy Hamill out front. Billy Hamill is going brilliantly, and Billy Hamill has pulled up the trees all night. Just unfortunate, perhaps, in his semi-final, but Billy Hamill is going to take 5th place in this Grand Prix. A marvellous end to the season for Billy Hamill in white, 2nd place in yellow, 3rd place in red. Billy Hamill finishes 5th in the Grand Prix. In 2nd place, Lee Adams, and a great ride by him. 3rd place goes to Michael KARLSSON, and the grand final will follow. Heat number 24 very shortly. Hans Nielsen, the professor. I wonder whether he will finally retire. Goes from gate 2. Joe Screen from gate 3. Mark Laram, who won this Grand Prix here at Vojens in 97. He won the Swedish Grand Prix in Linköping this year. He's from the outside. It's a tough gate, but there are 4 class riders and 2 from Britain, PC.
Yeah, Screeny and Mark, outside start positions. That's probably the ones they want.
Away they go, they look across, they both look right. Away goes Mark Laram from the outside. He's back again. Tony Rickardsson, pole position. Hans Nielsen picks it up. Tony Rickardsson lifts. Nielsen gains the drop on that because he's down quicker. Hans Nielsen, but coming round the outside is Mark Laram. Now he passes the inside. Rickardsson gets it back off Nielsen. Nielsen will now try the inside. Rickardsson shuts the gate. Rickardsson is world champion. Will he be the Vojens, the Danish Grand Prix champion? Rickardsson won the 84 world title here. Rickardsson will carry this title. Will he take the Grand Prix? Rickardsson down the back straight in front. Opens up a gap. Going through in a second place is Mark Laram. Joe Screen at the back. Nielsen comes back to second with a lap to go. Plenty to race for, but Rickardsson wins it, BC.
Yeah, Mark Laram's having a great challenge here with Hans Nielsen, but he's not going to catch Tony Rickardsson. Tony's really won a world champions ride here.
World champion indeed. Danish Grand Prix champion Tony Rickardsson. Mark Laram is second. Hans Nielsen is third. What a ride by Tony Rickardsson. What a night for Tony Rickardsson. And well, what a marvellous night for Speedway. Tony Rickardsson, once an individual world champion in 84, once a Grand Prix champion, now a second Grand Prix champion, a second Grand Prix title in a row, and champion.